The NBA draft is one of the most anticipated basketball events of the year. Making the right or wrong decision can elevate or hurt a franchise, sometimes for more than a decade. Some years, it's quite obvious which player would go number one. Others are more unpredictable. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Not every draft pick is well received by the fans and the press, but there have been plenty of great players who were booed on draft day. Those boos eventually turned to cheers, proving everyone they were truly worth it. Here are 10 NBA greats who were despised on draft night and proved everybody wrong. Starting with Dan Majerle of the Phoenix Suns, who was the 14th pick out of Central Michigan, wasn't viewed as a good shooter but very athletic. In the 1988 draft, it was going to be between him and Jeff Greer. Suns fans were absolutely furious at the time.
The Phoenix Suns select Dan Majerle of Central Michigan University.
We couldn't be happier, and I think you people will be sorry that you ever booed this young man.
They couldn't have drafted a better player at their spot. Majerle became one of the best guys in his class. It took a while for him to become a good NBA player. Went out and competed each and every night, became a fan favorite. Majerle went on to make 3 All-Star teams, a 17-point scorer in his prime with superb 3-point shooting, most memorable making the 93 finals alongside Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson. The Suns franchise even created the Dan Majerle Hustle Award, a prize given each season to a Suns player who demonstrated the most work rate and effort during the season. Majerle also made 2 defensive teams. Although many young fans might not know of him today, Majerle will always be appreciated and cherished among Suns fans. Peja Stojaković, who was one of the forgotten good players in the loaded 96 draft class, selected 14th overall right after the great Kobe Bryant, the 19-year-old Serbian was an unknown foreigner, wouldn't make his debut till 2 years later, became one of the best sharpshooters at 6'10", a very crucial player for the early contending 2000s Kings, made 3 All-Star teams, averaged over 24 points in his prime, including an All-NBA team. Stojaković would become a solid role player in his later years, won a title with the Mavs in 2011, would put up terrific numbers in today's game. Yao Ming, back in the day, attitudes towards foreign-born players were hostile.
Yao Ming from Shanghai, China, and the Shanghai Sharks.
Most analysts strongly believed Yao would never amount to anything, never played in an American league before getting drafted, combined with the disappointment of the 7'6" Sean Bradley, who was picked several years before. Not only did Yao prove everybody wrong, but he also helped expand the game of basketball internationally, became a hero in his hometown country. Yao was also arguably the best player in his class, even led the league in All-Star voting in 2005 and 2006, averaged 19 and 9 for his career, a Hall of Famer, 8-time All-Star, exceeded expectations. Penny Hardaway, after the Magic selected Shaquille O'Neal first overall the season before, the franchise lottery magic was on full display, defying the odds for a second year in a row. Everybody predicted the team would select power forward Chris Webber out of the University of Michigan, a no-brainer to most fans, which would create an unstoppable front line with Shaquille O'Neal, but very few people knew Shaq actually spent the summer before playing with Hardaway, realized he needed him on his team, and convinced GM Pat Williams to invite Penny to a training session. Williams was then astonished and blown away by Hardaway's greatness. After Webber was selected first overall, Hardaway third, Magic fans were livid when the trade was announced.
Orlando has traded the draft rights to Chris Webber to Golden State in exchange for the draft rights to Anthony Hardaway and 3 future first-round draft picks.
Both Penny and C-Webb would become superstar players in their primes. Hardaway made 4 All-Star teams, 3 All-NBA teams, made the finals his second season. After Shaq left in '96, his injuries started to pile up and would sadly never reach his full potential. Reggie Miller, out of UCLA, Pacers fans were absolutely infuriated when the 6'7" shooting guard was picked 11th overall.
Well, we'll call that timely.
Since the hometown hero and the beloved Steve Alford was still on board after winning a national title with the Indiana Hoosiers, as it turned out, Alford was picked 26th and lasted just 4 seasons in the NBA. Miller, meanwhile, became one of the game's most transcendent players and one of the best shooters the game has ever seen, the most beloved Pacer all time, spent all 18 seasons with the franchise, averaged over 18 points for his career, a 5-time All-Star, and brought plenty of joyful memories Pacers fans will forever cherish. Steve Nash, underestimated for much of his career, from having only one scholarship offer, the 15th overall pick out of Santa Clara, selected by the Phoenix Suns, the franchise hoped he'd be a replacement for legendary point guard Kevin Johnson, but instead, Phoenix signed Jason Kidd, limiting Nash's minutes, posted averages of just 6.4 points, under 3 assists in 17 minutes played his first 2 seasons. Before being traded to Dallas, Nash didn't become an All-Star till his 6th season. After a nice tenure with Dallas, owner Mark Cuban regretfully let him walk in free agency. At 30 years old, it appeared his best years were behind him, but man, they were dead wrong. Nash absolutely transformed the 7-second or less Suns under Mike D'Antoni, turned his team to heavy contenders, even won back-to-back MVPs, was the best point guard in the mid-2000s, the king of the 50-40-90 club, made all his teammates better, got a lot of players big contracts, an absolute joy to watch. John Stockton. Just like Nash, Stockton is the definition of a late boomer. Utah fans were absolutely furious about the team's decision to draft him 16th overall in the loaded '84 class.
Utah Jazz select John Stockton of Gonzaga University. The next pick belongs to New Jersey.
A mystery out of Gonzaga, a program which didn't get much recognition at the time. His game didn't grab anyone's attention. At 6'1", 170 pounds, with little to no expectations, Stockton himself wasn't sure if he was going to have an NBA career at all. Barely played his first 3 seasons, but became the most durable point guard the game has ever seen, led the league in assists for 9 consecutive years, spent all 19 seasons with one franchise, made 10 All-Star appearances, 5 defensive teams, one of the most productive careers of anybody. His assists and steals record will likely never be broken. Dirk Nowitzki, who wasn't projected to be a franchise savior. At the time, only the Celtics and Don Nelson's Mavs had any interest in the German product. Nelly would work his magic, negotiating a pre-draft trade with the Bucks, who was more interested in Robert Traylor. Dallas fans originally booed the 7-foot power forward. After a frustrating rookie season, averaging only 8 points, Dirk thought about leaving the NBA, going back to Germany. Even booed in his early career, labeled as soft on defense and lacking athleticism. Little did anyone know, Nowitzki would become one of the top players the power forward position has ever seen. A 14-time All-Star, led Dallas to a title, scored over 30,000 career points, one of the most iconic players of his era. Kawhi Leonard. After San Antonio lost in the first round to Memphis, it appeared All-Star point guard Tony Parker reached the end of the road with the franchise, but Popovich shockingly traded fan favorite George Hill to Indy for Kawhi. A big disappointment for Spurs fans who took their frustrations on the 20-year-old Leonard, but when Richard Jefferson was traded midway through Leonard's rookie season, he took over at small forward, continued to get better, became a Finals MVP in year 3, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year with the franchise. Pacers fans wish that trade never happened, and Spurs fans wish Kawhi never left. Stephen Curry, a draft pick that would change the entirety of the NBA. New York Knicks fans desperately wanted Curry so bad, they were beyond themselves.
Golden State Warriors select Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
After Golden State ruined their celebration, knowing it would haunt their franchise for a very long time, who had the very next pick, drafted bust Jordan Hill. Curry out of Davidson was viewed as the best shooter in the draft, but still not a guaranteed thing, since he went to a mid-major. Combined with his small frame, even Golden State fans were not sold on him. Former teammate and Golden State's top player Monte Ellis said on media day he just can't play with Curry, knowing the two of them won't fit. The franchise was dysfunctional at the time. The two played 2 full seasons together before the team dealt Ellis to the Bucks, handed the keys to Steph, and the rest was history. At the time, most Golden State fans were in disbelief about the Ellis trade. Little did everyone know, Curry would become the most influential player of his generation. Honorable mentions includes 2 current stars today, Gordon Hayward and Kristaps Porzingis. Hayward was picked 9th overall and was hoping he could stay in his home state of Indiana, who had the 10th pick. Jazz fans weren't thrilled at the time, but he proved to become a very good player, while Kristaps Porzingis was heavily criticized by angry Knicks fans, was viewed as a potential bust, but became an all-star, left the team. Those same Knicks fans will continue to see what's in store for the team in the lottery for likely the next couple years. Knicks fans also booed solid player Danilo Gallinari, the 6th pick in the 2008 draft, felt the front office was crazy for taking a European player that high, but proved to be a deadly scorer when healthy. Retired players include Damon Stoudemire, a 5'10" point guard out of the University of Arizona in the 95 draft. Toronto wanted Ed O'Bannon, but Mighty Mouse ended up winning Rookie of the Year and a fan favorite, Chuck Person, the 4th pick in the 86 draft. Pacers fans weren't sold, but also went on to win Rookie of the Year. Which future All-Stars from the coming 2020 draft do you think will get booed in the lottery? Will it be LaMelo Ball? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.